Have you ever felt like AI is this incredibly smart thing, but it's kind of stuck, almost like a brilliant brain just sitting in a jar? Well, today we're diving into Langchain, which is the tech that's finally giving that AI a body so it can actually do things in the real world.
So let's just start with this question right here. What good is a brain without a body? I mean, it can think amazing thoughts, it can solve incredibly complex problems, but without any hands or senses or any way to interact with the world, all those brilliant thoughts are just trapped, right? Well, that is exactly the problem Langchain was built to solve for AI.
Okay, so at the absolute center of this whole AI revolution, we've got the large language model, or LLM. In our little analogy here, this is the brain. Think about the models from places like OpenAI or Google. They are just unbelievably powerful. They can understand language, they can generate text that sounds human, they can write code, summarize articles, you name it. For all intents and purposes, they're the thinking part of this whole equation.
Right. So if the LLM is the brain, then well, Langchain is the body. It's the nervous system, it's the connective tissue, it's the arms and legs that let that powerful AI brain actually do stuff. Langchain is what plugs that incredible thinking power into the outside world, giving it the tools it needs to act on its own thoughts. And this connection, it completely changes the game. It turns an AI from something you just talk to into a doer. So let's really dig into how this unlocks an AI's true potential. This right here, this really spells out the transformation. You see, without Langchain, an LLM is basically a very, very sophisticated chatbot. You can have a conversation with it, ask it questions, but that's pretty much where it ends. With Langchain, though, it becomes a truly intelligent application, an agent that can take real action. So, what can this new intelligent application actually do? This is where it gets really, really cool. So, imagine asking it to plan a trip for you. Instead of just giving you a list of flights, it can now browse the live web to find the best prices. It can read your own calendar files to see when you're free. And then it can actually go and execute the booking for you. You see the difference? It's not just a passive source of info anymore, it's an active assistant. But how does Langchain even pull this off? How does it connect all these different brains and tools together? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a universal charger, but for AI. Let's take a look at how that works. So the magic really happens inside what's called the Langchain Core Framework. And its whole purpose is to create one single standard way for any AI model from any company to just plug in and work together seamlessly. It basically gets rid of all the compatibility headaches that developers used to have to deal with. And this note from our source material just illustrates the point perfectly. I love this because it's so simple and clear. Langchain is like a C-pin charger that fit for any model. It's so true. Just like you can use one single USB-C cable to charge your phone, your laptop, your headphones, well, developers can use Langchain to connect to almost any AI out there.
And yeah, we're talking about all the big players here. Langchain gives you that standard connector for platforms like OpenAI, Google, and Hugging Face. It handles all the nitty-gritty technical stuff in the background so that developers don't have to worry about it. It just works.
All right, let's go a little deeper now, kind of into the engine room. We've seen the main framework, but what's the actual secret sauce that makes all these powerful chainable connections happen? It's a system called LCEL, which stands for Langchain Expression Language. The easiest way to think about it is that it's the special language used to write the instructions for the AI's new body. It's how developers create these chains of command, linking the brain to all its different tools in a really simple but powerful way. And this isn't just my opinion. The source material itself actually calls LCEL the most distinctive part of the core framework. And that's what makes Langchain so much more than just a box of connectors. It's a real platform for building these sophisticated AI agents. So let's pull all this together and look at the big picture. Why does this change everything? Well, because it marks this massive shift from AI being a passive tool that you use to an active assistant that can actually take initiative for you. So, to wrap up our whole journey today, it's really just 3 simple steps. First, you've got the large language model. That's the powerful thinking brain. Second, Langchain comes along and provides the body, the tools, the connections to the world. And third, you put those two together and you transform a simple chatbot into an active agent, ready to take on really complex tasks. And that brings us to one last, really interesting thought. Now that AI has a body, now that it actually has hands to act in the world, what kind of tasks would you give it? What problems would you ask it to solve? Really makes you think, doesn't it? The possibilities are really just beginning to open up. Thanks for tuning in to this explainer.